game. Two of the real threats to win the Harold Matts title this year. Two of the great foundation clubs of Sydney. And they come up against each other here on what is so far a pretty good morning in Camden. There are some black clouds that look like they're on their way, but for the moment, we've got a reasonably dry track. And the ball is just about to be on the tee. Morgan Campbell is my name. It's a great pleasure to bring this one to you. The Roosters, of course, in the red, white and blue, running left to right on your phone, your TV or your laptop. The Magpies in the black and white, running from right to left. And we are away in the Harold Matts, the Roosters and the Magpies. Someone's perfect record is going to fall apart today, you would think. And it's the Maggies with first use of the ball up over the 20-metre line in front of what is not a bad crowd here at Kirkham Park. And they're all amongst us here on the sideline, so we'll get plenty of crowd noise throughout the day as this game goes on. And we've got the first penalty of the game. That didn't take long. So Wests will get an early opportunity to head down into the Roosters half. And it's going to be Taj Colquhoun to put the kick in. And they begin a set just over halfway. And a slightly dodgy pass is taken there by Jeremiah Leotagaga. And he made not bad ground. And as soon as we started the game, the rain has just started to trickle down here at Camden as they go through the halves here. And the ball goes to ground. It's picked up by the Roosters, and they're away straight away with Duna. And that's the halfway line he's been grounded on. And the Maggies' early opportunity turns to nothing. It's the Chooks who are in their half now. And that's Blake Steep coming forward up to the 40. And they'll get a penalty as well. So the discipline not quite working so far for these two teams as they suss each other out. It's been a long time since either of them played. We've had a couple of weekends in a row of washouts and games called off. So they just lost a bit of the continuity they might have had early in the year. And what a good tackle that is on the big number 10, VAR. And it's Leopai who comes forward. And the Roosters down that left edge with Ethan Roberts. As the rain is well and truly coming down now. And the Chooks are on the 20. The half is Rodwell. He goes flat to Steep. No pun intended. 20 out in front of the posts. They've got Fittler on that right. They go to him now. And he's dumped. That's a great shot by Folau Matui. To the left, Rodwell. Showing in and finding Leopai. And that is last. Rodwell again. Rodwell looking for the cutout. And it was taken over there, or nearly taken over there by Colquhoun. He got a touch, though. It was an important touch. And the ball goes into touch. The Roosters will get it back. But for a moment, they thought they were getting much, much more. And everyone is ducking for cover. It was uncanny the way the rain started there. Not 30 seconds into the game. Here come the Roosters from the play the ball. And it's VAR. Couple of metres short. This is such a good chance early in the game. Rodwell is deep on the right. They use him. They find the 5'8". That's Sinclair Harris. He's found a good pass. They're off down the right. He's going to get over the centre. Lachlan Dooner's got another try. He's got a couple already this season. And he's got one on the fringe there. And the Roosters take advantage of the early field position and take a 4-0 lead. Simple play. They'd had a few tackles in a row on the Magpies line. And it was a shift with momentum. Well worked little set play. They're in for the first try of the game after only 4 minutes. And I think it might be time for the raincoat. Lachlan Dooner. He's got 3 tries already in this competition. He got a double in the last game. That was a couple of weeks ago, though. They've had a longer layoff than anybody else, the Roosters, because they had the bye in round 3, so it's been quite a while since their last game. A 22-14 win over Para in round 1, 38-8 over Souths in round 2, then the bye, and now a 4-0 lead. And Vizduna trying to convert his own try from out wide, with the added pressure of being in front of the crowd. Here's the kick. That looks all right. Oh, it looks very good. It looks very good. What a start to the game he's had. It's 4-0 to the Roosters. "30-minute halves here in the Harold Mats. So things happen quickly. The game can get away from you if you make a bad start. And that will be in the Maggies' minds as they kick this ball off. Isn't it good to see the Magpies in this competition? Magpies and Balmain Tigers competing separately in the Harold Mats and SG ball. And look at this hit up off the back fence. The big front rower does a bit of damage and bends the line. That was Leapai. They've got big boppers in the 8 and the 10. And that is a tried and true model in this game. This is Va'a. Big collisions already. Both teams have a perfect record for a reason. That's Roberts. And they've made decent ground already. Steep. Leapai. Last tackle. Rodwell's in position. Needed to take a step, but he's put this into the air, and this will be an ugly thing to catch. And it's caught really well over there by Gallagher on the Magpies wing. He was under pressure there and wasn't in the best position. Managed to get his hands above his head. Now Craig with a run. As the rain's cleared again now, and we've got beaming sunshine. It might just be one of those type of days. Galvin. The Magpies beat Balmain in round 1 as they get another penalty. So they'll get another look at the Roosters' end, and they're going to tap and go. And De Silva's taken a run, and De Silva's taken a break. And he's up to the 20. And he needed to be grassed there. This will give them the roll. Here's Miller. And they are set up in both directions. The half is Kepi. Then it's Galvin. And still Galvin. He's not far away there. Craig's the dummy half. And Miller's the prop, and he's dropped the ball. He's turned it over. So the Maggies give up an opportunity there. The Roosters defended their line well, but it was good invention there from Talon De Silva, the hooker, to take that tap and set them going. I was about to say that Wests have won all 3 of their games. They beat Balmain 24-14 at this ground in round 1. They beat Newcastle 38-20 at the 8th Wonder of the World, Cessnock Sports Ground, in round 2, and beat Parramatta 12-10 in round 3 here. This is a bit of a bonus home game for the Magpies, as this might go against the head. It has, you know, but it's not going to be allowed. And traditionalists watching this game will be throwing things at their screen at the thought of a scrum against the feed being disallowed. They'll have to do it again. It's a bonus home game for West. This was supposed to be played at Henson Park today. It was supposed to be a Roosters home game. But as it is, they've had to move it out here. It's the way of things in the last couple of weeks, with the weather and everything else. Here come the Chooks. And they're locked. Blake Steep's been looking for work, but he's turned that over, and Mason's got it for the Magpies. Here they come. Great chance for them again with Luke Lawalili. And there are multiple Magpies officials yelling out patience. And that's probably not a bad message. Mason. Falau Matui. The ball's popped out the back there. I'm not sure he meant it, but it won't matter, because the captain, Lawalili's got the ball. They might go flat to the left. They do. It's not a bad idea. They're in on the fringe. Lachlan Galvin's over. He was put over by Kepi. And the Magpies have found a way through. And they'll get a kick here to level this game up. It's 6-4. And that was lovely halves play there. Recognised the momentum was with them. Swept around to that left-hand side. And Kepi put Galvin over from close range. Not completely dissimilar to the way the Roosters got their try. Momentum and shifting of the ball. And this is everything we thought it would be so far. A good contest between two pretty well-matched teams. Neither of these clubs have ever won the Harold Matthews. Neither the Roosters nor the Magpies. But the Roosters did make the elimination final last year. They had a good season. And West got a step further and lost in the grand final qualifier. So there's plenty of pedigree coming through at both these clubs. Here is Colquhoun. And this one's not quite as good. It's off to the left. So no goal and a 2-point lead to the Roosters. It's 6-4. And you wouldn't believe it. It is brighter than anything right now. I've got to put the sunnies on. That's how bright it is. I've gone from ducking from the rain to squinting. I feel like we're watching this game in Melbourne or something. But it's the Roosters kicking off at 6-4 in the Harold Mats. Don't forget, of course, we've got the SG ball on after this between the same two clubs. That game kicks off at 12 o'clock. There's no reason to go anywhere today. If you started watching at 10 o'clock this morning, there's a bit of push and shove here. If you started watching football this morning at 10:30 with this game, you can be parked in front of your telly or your laptop until about 9:30 tonight. There's football all day. And it all starts here on New South Wales Rugby League TV. There's another penalty to the Magpies. The Roosters getting on the wrong side of the referee here. And they will kick for touch and hopefully avoid my commentary position. It's a heaving kick for touch too. Gets them well into the Roosters' half. What a chance. Craig straight at them. Now Colquhoun, it's De Silva, in fact, who's gone for a run. He's a couple of metres short. They're right in position here, the Magpies. Cappy. Laualili swung onto his back. Good defence. They're short. They're terribly short to the left, the Roosters. They go that way, the Magpies. It's out to Laualili. And the Roosters did really well to get numbers there because their left-hand edge didn't have anyone on it a couple of seconds ago. Now for Lauamatui. That's come loose. Good defence from the Chooks. Good defence. It was Alex Leopold who was in the thick of it. And the Roosters survive. But their coach will be a little bit alarmed at the number of penalties that have come in so far for them. They can't keep inviting Wests up to their end of the field. One of the fastest growing parts of Sydney, of course, Camden and the Macarthur region. And you can see that they're starting to produce a hell of a lot of footballers, and that's a great strength for Wests in these junior comps. Of course, Camden, or the Macarthur region's most famous product, is the captain of the Roosters first grade team. It's one thing to develop them, I suppose. It's another thing to keep them. As here come the Roosters with Va'a. And what a good run that was. Bodies smashing into each other here. Now a run from the centre. That's the captain, Zach Safati. Now Allen, and he will kick. How's the chase for the Roosters? It's not bad. but it's not good enough to stop Colhoun at the first time of asking, but they get him eventually. And it's the Magpies who'll have to come out of their own end. It's the same old thing, give them the ball where you want them to have it. Slow play the ball. Barreling tackle on Gallagher. Ball comes loose. They're forcing mistakes, the Roosters. And they've forced another one here, and it puts them right in prime real estate. Right where they want to be. And you get the sense from what we've seen so far that both teams are going to get plenty of chances. And the team that uses theirs, the better, is probably the one that'll get the points. Because they're both getting an even look at each other's try lines. Now, Sinclair Harris is going to feed the scrum. Rodwell gets it, and he gives it to Steep. Short little ball's not bad there to Roberts, and Roberts is only 10 away. Tigers need to move, they're short. Roosters go that way. Rodwell jinks and bobs and weaves and gets it back. Look to have lost it. They open it up here. Sinclair Harris, Fittler. Fittler's not far away. The defence meet him. Set out deep to the left. They go to the right. Sinclair Harris, look at that step. He's not far away. They're under the ball. They're under the ball. And they have held him up. Back they go. Pretty stout defence so far from the Magpies in this set. Allen is the dummy half, and he will get us going again. He gives it to the 16. That's Lachlan Downey, and that's last tackle. What have they got? Sinclair Harris, Rodwell, stepping Rodwell. Lovely little ball, Rodwell. Roberts is over. Roberts has got to ground. Run the ball on the last play, and it's come up for them. They've got a 6-point lead. It might be 8 in a second. And they have taken their chance after repelling Wests up the other end. Really, really nice halves play there. We've seen a bit of that already from both teams. But that was excellent work there by Rodwell to get a couple of defenders interested and find a big back rower steaming onto the ball. And you'd have to say the standard of attack is pretty high. Been a lot of talk this year about how good the football's been in both the mats and the ball. Been plenty of good tries scored from all over the park. But it's been the attack inside the 20 that's got it done so far today. I'll get you some scores from around the grounds in a minute as well. There's plenty of other football going on today around the place. But we'll wait for Lachlan Dooner to line up this goal kick, which he ought to throw over and make it an 8-point lead. He has. He has. And so the Roosters, 12 points to 4. In the early stages here, we're just after the quarter mark in this Harold Matthews clash, and it's going the Roosters' way so far. I can tell you that at half-time at Redfern, it's South Sydney 10, leading Norths 6. And after 15 minutes out at Penrith, Illawarra 0, Penrith 0. The other game today kicks off at noon in the Harold Mats. That's at Morrie Breen Oval between the Central Coast Roosters, a different set of Roosters to these ones, up against the Cronulla Sharks. There have been 2 games already in this round as he's the big front rower again, taking ground off them. Then Downey. This round started on the 26th of February with a draw between the Dragons and the Manly Sea Eagles, 12 all, and an 18-8 win to the Tigers over the Knights. So those two teams have got the weekend off. Now then, a penalty late in the count. And a great opportunity here for the Roosters. They could really kick away here and give the Magpies a serious worry. They'll start on the 30. And it's Va'a coming forward again. Delasali Va'a. Now Downey, who's taken plenty of runs already. He's only been on the field a couple of minutes. Rodwell sweeps around the other side. You could see that coming. That doesn't mean you can do anything about it. And it was a good tackle in the end over there on Safadi. Rodwell. Now he runs. Oh, and he gets collared. And that's a nasty one. That will be a penalty. That had to be a penalty. The old coat hanger, that one. And I think he's going to call someone out here. I wonder whether he's thinking about the sin bin or maybe just a report. The touchies haven't come in. Let's see. Just a report. Well, it gives the Roosters a chance to shoot for goal, and that's what they're going to do. So they're going to try and make 12-4, 14-4 here. And with the rain threatening, I suppose, just building a score at this point of the game, it's not a bad tactic. And poor old Toby Rodwell thought he was being clever by taking that run, got a little bit more than he bargained for. But he is the threat. You can see it the way that he's setting up these plays for the Roosters. He's the one that's running the team and creating all of their attack. And Lachlan Doona has a kick for 14-4. And he's taking his time over it, as I suppose you would, in front of a good crowd. You don't want to make a goose of yourself by ploughing it into the crossbar or something like that. It's there. It's a good kick. Put it over the back fence and gives the Roosters a 10-point lead. And they're probably good value for that lead, if only because they've been taking their chances. Now, if you're watching today, let us know. Tell us where you're watching from, who you're barracking for, and all the rest of it. It's good to have you with us on New South Wales Rugby League TV. Morgan Campbell, my name, and a pleasure to be bringing this to you. We're seeing a bit of the future of the NRL most likely here. Some of the best juniors in New South Wales. And some seriously big units like this fella, Lachlan Downey. Someone in the comments on Facebook said he's had a high work rate. He certainly has. That's his fourth run in about 5 minutes. They've done this well coming out of their own end, the Roosters. The 15 is on the field. That's Bryn Siltala. He's on, and that's last. Rodwell. Charge down. Big chance here for the Magpies. The ball's come loose. They will get it back. Or will they? Yeah, Touchy gets involved. And that's probably fair enough. Oh, look out. We've got trouble. I think... Oh dear. Either that was a very forceful push or a very acrobatic fall there by Doona. Either way, it's a West ball. And they're going to take a scrum in the centre of the field and set their stall up in the East's half. And they needed this. The game just getting away from them a little bit. But once that charge down happened, that could have gone anywhere. Oh, here we go. We've got someone watching from Dalby in Queensland. Someone from Port Macquarie. A couple of people on the Central Coast. One in Denman. We're covering plenty of ground here on New South Wales Rugby League TV. 15 for the Magpies is on the field. That's Ewan Zureb, and he's made a good introduction. He's taken them up to the 10. Here they come with Miller. And still Miller, and he's got himself to the ground. Big bloke, flat line, too big, too strong. And the Magpies have got themselves back into the game. One opportunity, and it didn't take them very long to take it. And it is 12-8. And you'd have to think in a minute it'll be 12-10. And Jordan Miller did that all himself. And that sort of play has worked since 1908. Big front rower at a flat line from 10 metres out. It's always worth a go. Here we go. John says he's watching his grandson play from Cootamundra. Aaron's watching in Dubbo. Ray's watching in Dalby. Got someone in Lerner. Goodness me, we are covering a bit of ground. Peter's watching from Perth. Fox is in home isolation. Goodness me. Matraville. Got a very large footprint here. Glad to have you all with us. Oh yeah, Emerald, Mackay. It's good to know that plenty of people tuning in around the place as Colquhoun puts the kick over. And the Maggies have cut the deficit. 14-10 here. I told you this would be a good game. And it's living up to it so far.
5.5 minutes remaining in the first half.
Got people flying in from everywhere. Lithgow, Sunshine Coast, Broken Hill, Thirlmere, Lord Howe Island. Blimey. Fantastic. Here come the Roosters, kicking off and setting the Magpies off on a new set of 6 as the momentum of this game just ebbs and flows. Plenty of points, plenty of good football, and plenty of really tough collisions. It's all the things we love about rugby league. And there's Miller. He's just got himself a try, but he's carting it up again as the rain just starts to spit down again. I'm going back under the umbrella. Couple of tackles left here, but De Silva's going to kick. He's been lively so far, De Silva. Done a couple of good things in the game, and he's found a man who I don't think's had a touch yet, Cade Maguire, who meets a tough chase. And the Roosters will have to do some dirty work here. This is Toy. He hasn't had too many looks at the ball yet either. And he's just about perpendicular as he's put on the ground. Ref decided to let it go. Now Safadi, he's met strongly. The backs chipping in here. And the forwards enjoying getting up on them. Here's Steer. Steep, pardon me, not Steer. Blake Steep, the lock. Couple of tackles in hand. Here's Downey again. Up to halfway on last. Rodwell. They've put a bit of pressure on him. He's had to do that little jink back inside and step a couple of times. But he got a good contact with that kick. And it's Luke Laulili, who's finally grounded by the Chooks. We're right in a wrestle here. We are right in a battle. That was Gallagher. This is Craig. There's a man down in back play, and we'll have to stop because he looks in a bit of bother as the lads get a bit restless out there. Referee blows his whistle. which is really the only thing the referee can do in that situation. Blow the whistle, tell them to knock it off. Now we're going to need the trainer here, because this Roosters player's in a bit of distress.
3 minutes remaining in this first half.
First aid staff are so good now with things like this.
If you're thirsty and hungry.
They always take the precautions.
Also, the coffee bin is open. If you feel like a cappuccino, hot chocolate.
So we'll just have a little stoppage here. As I say, we've got a kick-off at noon in the SG Ball between the Roosters and the Magpies. The form guide in that game, the Roosters are 4th in the SG Ball. The West's Magpies are 14th, but that's a bit misleading. They haven't been losing those games by very much. They've had a couple of close losses against top sides. There's every reason to think they'll still be competitive this year. Now, I think this might be a concussion problem for Zach Fittler. He's on his feet. He's all right, but he's going to have to go off. So all the precautions taken. And he looks okay as he makes his way off. And that will be a great relief to everyone watching. It will also bring the Roosters concussion sub into the game, I suspect, depending on how the assessment goes. So Fittler is off the field and we will be back underway. He'll go and do his assessment. I'll work out if he can come back later on us. Here come the Magpies again with Laualili, the captain, surging into the East's half. That's Galvin. They know how dangerous he is. He's already got a try at 8. This is last tackle. Kepi to the sky. There's a contest, there's a bounce, there's a pick up there for the Magpies. It was Wonga who got it. They've got a full set of 6 here. What a good chance. They'll go to Miller straight away. And they have a great chance to maybe seize the lead here. Kepi. Good football. Great football. Exceptional movement through the backs. It's William Craig who scores out wide. And the Magpies are back level. And they'll have a kick for the lead. This game is swinging backwards and forwards. And the last few minutes have run the Maggies' way. And that drew a big cheer from the crowd here on the sideline. Lovely ball movement through the hands. Galvin held it up. And it was William Craig who went through. Well, the rain has started to set in now. It's pretty heavy. And there are golf umbrellas all over this sideline now, as everyone tries to find some type of shelter. There's a few hardy souls trying it on, just pushing on through with no cover. Unfortunately, I'm one of them. But it's Colhoun here who's got a kick that's a bit easier than his last one, but only just. And if he puts this over, the Maggies will have the lead for the first time in the game. Let's see what he can do. It's on its way. Doesn't look too bad. Oh, it looks sensational. It's there. And Western Suburbs lead it in the Battle of East and West. the battle of second and fourth.
14.
And in very quick time, Wests have turned a 10-point deficit into a 2-point lead. And that's the hooter for half-time. There won't be any more in this first half. And the Magpies have ended it in the best possible way. They have claimed the lead with that late try to William Craig. And they will go into the sheds with a 2-point lead after a really well